right, so we're going to look at point slope form. So we've seen slope intercept. Remember, slope intercept was the y equals mx plus b. We've seen standard form, that's ax plus by equals c. We will be going back to standard form here in a little bit. But we're going to look at the new one, and that is called point slope. And with point slope, all you're dealing with is you're going to have a point and you're going to have slope. Like how slope intercept dealt with the slope and the y-intercept, point slope deals with a point and a slope. So we're going to go over what point slope is, and we're going to go over how to write equations in point slope given certain things. And then the next video will be how to graph using point slope. So we'll break it down just like we did with slope intercept. So here's point slope. Point slope is y minus y1 equals m, remember m is slope, times the quantity x minus x1. So you're going to have a point. Your point is where you plug in the x1s and the y1s, and you're going to have a slope, which is where your m is. Okay, so it says right here, write and graph. We're right now going to focus on just writing. So we're going to write an equation in point slope form. So write an equation in point slope form for the line that passes through the point 3, negative 2 with a slope of 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to label our x1 and our y1. So if you remember in an ordered pair, our first point is an x. So this is going to be our x1. And then the next one is our y. So this will be our y1. So we now have our x1, we have our y1, and we have our slope of 1/4. And if we remember, slope is m. So if I wanted to write an equation of a line that crosses through this point with that slope, we would do it as so. So we'd have y minus, well, y1 is negative 2. So since it's minus negative 2, it'd be y plus 2 equals m. Well, in place of m is our slope, so 1/4. So equals 1/4 times, all we're doing is just writing, x minus, and our x1 is 3. So since it's a positive 3, it's going to stay as minus 3. And boom, there we go. So the equation that goes through the point 3, negative 2 with a slope of 1/4 would be this. Y plus 2 equals 1/4 times x minus 3. So I'm given these right here, given that, boom, we write our equation. So let's look at another example. So we're given points, we're given slope, we need to write this in the equation. So let's identify, this is our x1, this is our y1, and this is our m. It's already identified, so we don't need to do that. So if we remember, it's y minus y1, well, y1 is 2, so it's y minus 2 equals m, which is negative 3, times x minus x1. Well, since it's a negative 2, it'd be plus 2. So the equation of a line that goes through this point with that slope is y minus 2 equals negative 3 times x plus 2. Again, all I'm doing is substituting in. Same thing here. Let's do another example. This is x1. This is y1. It's always good to label them. Then we're going to plug in our equation. Y minus y1 is 5 equals m is negative 6 times x minus, well, since it's a negative 2, it'd be x plus 2. And there is our equation. So with point slope, we just plug in our x1, our y1, and our slope. All we're doing is we're substituting in. That's why I had these in different colors. Again, you should be writing down these notes as I go. You can pause. If I'm going too fast, you're like, slow down, I'm trying to write. Pause the video. Okay, take ownership in your own learning. Make sure you write these down so that you have your notes, so that when you do the practice problems tomorrow, you have your notes to reference back to. See how that works? Pretty common sense. All right, so now the other part, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to state the point and slope from each equation. So I'm given this equation. It's in point slope form. We want to figure out what is the point this line goes through and what is your slope. So you have to remember, you have to recall what is point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where your y1 and x1 are your points. Your m is your slope. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that. Boom, right here. Y1, x1, m, point, slope. So use that information, and I'm going to rewrite it right here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right. So we want to know what is the point that this line goes through. Well, the point is x comma y. So, or x1, well, our x1, it's a 7. And because it's a minus, we keep it as a positive 7. And our y1 is the 3. And since the original one is a minus, it stays positive. So the point is 7 comma 3. And then what is our slope? What is our m? Well, m is right in front of the parentheses right here. So our slope is 4. All right, let's try the second one. What is our point? What is our x1? What is our y1? Well, if we look, our x1 is right here. So here's x. So this is our x1. Since it's a minus 2, that's the original one. This stays as a positive 2. And our y1, well, it says plus 6. This is where we got to think opposite. Because the original equation has a minus, and this is a plus, this would be a negative 6. So the point is 2 negative 6. And our slope, or our m, is negative 2/5. So we have point, we have slope. We have point, we have slope. And we pulled these all from these equations. So this is stuff you are going to have to do in your practice problems. First, you're going to have to take points, generate an equation. Then you'll have to take the equation and tell me what the point is and what the slope is. These are things that you need to be able to do. Again, I recommend you to write down the notes as I write them down so that you have them to reference when you do the practice problems. Take ownership in your own learning.